My guy, you know who I'm voting for again? I voted for, let's see, how many times have I voted? 3 times? 2 times. How old am I? I'm 28?
Yeah.
28 divided by how many? What's the math on that? How many times have I voted? I think I voted 3 times.
Yeah.
And every time I voted for Willie Nelson.
Are you serious?
What do you got?
No, I was just I like to keep up on the news. I'm not the most in-depth. I'm not a CNN or MSNBC analyst. I'm also
What's your go-to for news source?
CNN.
Okay.
Obviously that gets a bad rap sometimes. I do The Atlantic, I do BBC, NPR.org. A little bit more liberal leaning websites.
Okay.
Sometimes I hit up Fox News, see what they're talking about.
So you like to keep it well-rounded.
Yeah.
Got it.
Al Jazeera sometimes. They're a little bit more worldly.
Okay.
But I got an alert this morning that another candidate has entered the Democratic race for president.
So what are we at now?
21.
21, that's a lot. How long do you think it's going to take for them to weed out to half?
By end of summer.
End of summer?
Yeah.
And then we'll be...
money's going to start running low.
Yeah.
I'd say by September, we're going to be down to 11-ish.
So I haven't looked at this. Are there any promising... Give me the top 5 promising candidates in your opinion.
In my opinion, that I like...
Well, not necessarily that you like, just that you think they're the most promising, that have the best chance of winning.
There's Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Elizabeth Warren.
Okay.
Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of buzz around Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
And Cory Booker. So 6.
6. Okay.
They're
So you think
I feel they're the top players.
So you feel like in the end, it's going to be between them.
I believe so, unless somebody pulls it. There's Andrew Yang, who's pretty cool.
Yang, yeah, I remember looking at him.
He wants to do free healthcare, free schooling.
My God.
We could afford all these other things.
He also wants to do the universal income, right?
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
I looked into that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as crazy as it sounds.
The hard part is when they're what works in other countries, let's say Norway, Denmark, their population is also drastically smaller than ours. So they say, which is a model. If it could work there, it could possibly work here.
Why
but
not?
It's also we also have. They're a little bit more socialist. They've always been, and we were founded on capitalism.
Among other.
But I'm down for it. I'm down to try it. Why not?
I think it's interesting. It's as far as it goes. The way that I understood it is, wait, what is it getting taxed for it?
I don't know. I didn't read into it.
I read into it a little bit. I can't remember what it is. Oh, so basically, from what I remember, right? If I say this wrong, don't hold me. Well, I mean, hold me accountable. But I'm saying it could be wrong. I think it's gonna be big business and even things that are tax exempt right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have for example, church, which we're not gonna go into that, but if you have these bigger corporations that are paying, little to no taxes, they pay their base rate of what they're supposed to be paying in taxes. That gets funneled in, and I can't remember. God damn it, I'm butchering this. But yeah, basically, it's not going to come out of your pocket.
Yeah, it's also having the discussion of, because I would say I'm down the middle. I lean a little bit more left, but I'm in the middle of the road of
Is your crotch hurt? I'm sitting on the fence. Pick a side, buddy.
Why? Why?
Because
there's nuances.
Because it's not good for your taint. I'm just messing with you. It's good to be well-rounded.
Yeah, because there's nuances. When you talk about taxing corporations, you say, all right, they're paying 5%, but their net revenues $700 billion, let's say. 5% of $700 billion is way more than 30% of my $30,000 a year.
Right.
So I'm down to try it, and I think that it might work. But then
The
you're
way that
also,
he-
let's say we start taxing the $700 billion at 25%.
Here,
Now-
check this out. So we're sitting here talking about this, and we're with vague ideas and
Vague.
understandings. So if you want to, there's a very good clip that I watched on Rogan's podcast. Just type in Joe Rogan, Andrew Yang, and he explains it himself like very well. To where you're like, oh shit, like that could, in theory, work. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Also, the thing about Pete Buttigieg is like he's super progressive. If he were to be elected, he'd be the first mayor to president.
mayor to president,
Climbing
climbing the ladder, boy.
He's going to be the youngest. I think he's like 33 or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
And he is openly gay.
Nice. How old
But
was Obama when he went in office?
Early 40s, late 40s.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did I think
The
he was in
youngest
his
president
30s?
to ever be elected right now is JFK.
And he was what, 30s?
I think he was 41. Or
He had to
42.
have been. Look it up real quick.
Obama?
Well, just like youngest president.
Youngest president elected. JFK at 43 years and 163 days.
43. So there's never been a president
Under
elected in their 30s.
Mm-mm.
Dang. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Pros and cons.
I don't know. It's like, how do you... Because you also want, like, wisdom and years of work of, like, how does it...
But
how does
still-
the system work,
Yeah,
right?
you got to find that.
But then you
sweet
get
spot.
somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez where they're like, I'm fighting for our generation. Like, all y'all are going to die soon. Like, we need to get into Congress now.
Yeah, I feel like mid 30s to early 40s is a sweet spot. You're not too far gone as like, how do I what's a JPEG file? But you're also not young enough to where you're listening to like Lil Xan and shit. You gotta fucking
Yeah.
you gotta dial it.
But also, like, he's been doing town halls and interviews, and I've been reading that he has been super vague on his policy, and he's like, we'll talk about policy later. Let's just, like, make a stand against Trump. It's like, well, we can't pick
Unless we
you
know
if we
what
know
you-
what you
yeah.
stand on. And that's where, like, the young part of him comes in. It's like, yo, bro, like, we've heard that same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, get with the program, buddy.
You just said get with the program, buddy. To be honest, I haven't really dove in yet because, like you just said, like I didn't know that there were 21, but I know that there's like a fuck ton of people, you know, and for me to like sit and I feel like I'm not there yet. It's too much for me right now. I need to wait until there's like 10, and then I'll start like dissecting.
And someone who like had a lot of press last year, but I don't see his name too much right now, is Beto.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. They're saying he's too young and
How old is he?
35.
Because you have to be 30 something, 33. 30. I think it's 33 to actually run.
Beto is 46.
He's 46. How old do you have to be to run for president?
35.
35?
Because Pete Buttigieg is 37.
Dang. Buttigieg.
But
Buttigieg.
yeah, there's a lot of candidates.
Wait. Pete Buttigieg?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, dude, if his name was Bobby Buttigieg.
Bobby Boucher.
Water boy for president.
That's why we're not running for president, because we make no jokes.
My guy, you know who I'm voting for again? I voted for, let's see, how many times have I voted? 3 times? 2 times. How old am I? I'm 28?
Yeah.
28 divided by how many? What's the math on that? How many times have I voted? I think I voted 3 times.
Yeah.
And every time I voted for
Are
Willie Nelson.
you serious?
No.
Oh. I was about to come around and slap the shit out of you.
the reason, bro.
I was slap the mohawk off you.